Hello, welcome along. This video is all about wider research and reading when it comes to writing a brilliant personal statement. My name is David. I produce all the content here on Personal Statement Planet and I manage the website over at personalstatementplanet.com. So somewhere down there in the description, you'll find the link to Personal Statement Planet. I strongly recommend you go and hit that up, have a look, see what's there, because I know lots and lots of the content there is going to be able to help you with your personal statement. Like wherever you are on the journey, wherever you're at, whether you're just beginning, whether you've pretty much got it cracked, it's going to be of use. This video will also be really helpful, but it's really to do with the best ways of making use of and applying your wider reading, your knowledge, all those extra things you know to making your personal statement really, really shine. If you've got a minute, you're very, very welcome to like and subscribe, help other people find the channel. That'd be amazing. But let's get into it. So look, when it comes to your wider reading and your research in a personal statement, you've got to understand the most important thing of all, which is that it's got to be super, super relevant. There is absolutely no point in you just like throwing in a random fact that you know, or a random book you read, or someone that you've heard of that you think might be useful. None of that's going to mean anything, you know, to the person that reads it. It's all going to be irrelevant. So what you've got to make sure that you do is that you show evidence of a wide range of wider reading, but that you do it in such a way as to make it completely relevant to what you're doing. And I want to say, in case you're wondering why I'm kind of sat here in my kitchen, this doesn't look very pro, it's for a very good reason. And the reason I'm here in my kitchen is to try and just help you to see that personal statements are not special. They're not something like impossible or unique or that only certain people can do. People all over the world, every day, day to day, day in, day out, write awesome personal statements. They smash their personal statements out the park. You can do the same thing. It doesn't have to be a mystery, which is why I'm here in my kitchen, and possibly even with some washing up there in the background. So cool, David. All right, okay, let's get into it. One of the most important things that you can add into your personal statement is your wider reading and research. And why is that? Well, it's a couple of reasons, but mostly because admissions tutors who are reading your document really want to see evidence of that depth of knowledge that you have about your subject. They want to know that you have gone beyond the set curriculum, that you've done more reading than your teachers made you do, that you are so passionate and interested and connected to your subject that you are 100% in the zone. But more than that, they want to see that you can use that knowledge. Yeah. So it's no good just saying, I've read a book. What they really want to see is that you've read a book, you've understood it, you've then read something else that's deepened your understanding, you've then written something and applied that knowledge, or maybe you've been in some kind of debate or discussion with somebody, or maybe you've seen someone give a lecture or a presentation and because of that knowledge that you have, you've disagreed with it. That's fantastic. You know, the person reading your application is always going to know more than you. That's why they're who they are and you're who you are at the moment. But if they can see that potential, that you know how to do that wider reading and research and make use of it in an academic way, then boy, that's going to go far. After all, you know, it shows that you have a motivated mindset when it comes to academic work, that you have knowledge of your subject and that you're passionate about discovery and that you know how to learn. Those are all epic aspects of any undergraduate or even master's degree, and it's exactly what people are looking for. You know what's going to separate you from the crowd when it comes to wider reading as well? Not relying on the textbooks you get taught about at school. Because I will guarantee you that 90% of everybody who writes a personal statement and includes wider reading only really talks about the book on the curriculum, whatever that subject may be or whatever that curriculum is. You know, if you've done some research, read a book that is off the curriculum, is harder maybe than what's set on the curriculum, is inspired by like a niche element of the curriculum and you are empowered by that, then that's going to be absolutely epic. We talk about wider reading and research and that's all great, but it doesn't just mean books. You know, you could have gone to a lecture series, you could have watched some lectures on YouTube, you could have gone there in person, you could have done some research at a summer school, maybe you've joined a discussion group, maybe it's in a club that you're in that isn't even academic, but as a result of that club or organisation, you've done some wider reading and research. Those are all excellent things, okay? It doesn't have to be a book. So if you haven't read a book, but you have attended a lecture, if you haven't attended a lecture, but you've done an online course, those are all excellent examples. Don't get stuck on the idea of it being a book, because it doesn't have to be a book. So what you need to focus on really with your wider reading and your research is identifying and exploring the key practitioners in the field that you're interested in. So who are the movers and shakers? Who are the important people? Who has inspired your field of study? Who's contemporary in your field of study? Who are the up and coming people in your field of study, your subject, who by the time you get out there after university are going to be the movers and shakers? Who are the people that you're going to want to connect with and work with in 5 years' time, 10 years' time? Who are all the key players? And when you've worked out who all the key players are and you've read about them and you know a bit about them, then you need to have opinions on them. Because the other thing that admissions teams adore when they read a personal statement is, do you have an opinion? It's no good just saying that you understand something, or even proving or evidencing that you understand a theory, a concept, someone's approach academically, someone's research in the real world. Do you have an opinion on it that isn't bonkers? Do you have an opinion that is informed, that is credible? If your opinion is crazy, it's not going to work. But if your opinion is actually really, really informed, that's going to score lots of points for you when it comes to a good personal statement. Now, I mentioned courses earlier on, online courses, and they're a great place for you to be better informed and to do your wider reading and deepen your research. And I don't really mean, like there's courses all over the place now, aren't there? People offer courses all the time. I kind of mean accredited ones that perhaps are organised by a university themselves, ones that perhaps are organised by employers maybe. Certainly anything which is on the MOOC website, the Massive Open Online Course website, MOOC, would be suitable, that kind of stuff. Things that the people who read your personal statement are going to recognise, things that the admissions teams are going to recognise, stuff that's going to actively add value. And the great thing with MOOCs is that they're almost all free. Some of them are quite short. So like you can do a course over a week, maybe at home in the evenings, and that's a qualification, it's an experience, it's knowledge that you have. It hasn't really cost you anything to do apart from your time, and it really, really adds value to your application. Now look, it's all very well having your wider reading done, your research done, but if no one knows about it, it doesn't mean anything. So in your personal statement, you need to make sure that you actively inform the reader that you have this knowledge. How do you do that? Well, you don't just say, I've got the knowledge. You have an opinion. You show an idea about one person's theory or concept. You show another piece of knowledge from somewhere else. You indicate where you got that piece of knowledge, and you show what you think about that and how it then relates to the next point you want to make in your personal statement. So it's kind of subtle, yeah? You don't want to go like, I know A and I know B, and that means I know C. You want to be kind of going, well, look, I've got this experience here that's given me this piece of knowledge. I've read this thing that's given me another piece of knowledge, and they combine to give me this opinion, which I think is really valuable and relevant because it links to the course by, and then you're going to talk about that, yeah? No piece of information about your wider reading or research should be left in isolation in your personal statement, yeah? It should all lead to a very specific point. And the point that it leads to is, 1, I'm suitable for this course. 2, look at how well my experience relates to what the demands of the course are. And 3, I've got the skills, the foundational skills ready that I need in order to access the course and to flourish on it too. Last thing just to say, sometimes I work with applicants who have done loads of wider reading, loads of research, they've got lots of knowledge about things, and they want to be able to talk about it, but they feel as though writing about all that stuff in their personal statement, there's 2 problems with. The first problem is that it feels like it's not really very personal. It's just like it's listing qualifications, it's listing reading. And you can get away from that really easily just by making sure that everything you write about relates directly to your application. But the other thing they talk about sometimes is that they don't want to boast. And that's an extraordinary attitude. I get it completely. You're like, I've done this, I've done that, I know all this knowledge, I'm suitable because. And you start to feel a little bit like, well, am I just boasting? Am I just showing off here? Trust me when I say you're not boasting, You're not showing off. You're doing exactly the right thing. Outline your skills, outline your qualities, outline your values, outline what makes you awesome in terms of the knowledge you have and the wider reading that you've done. Let it run through the whole personal statement. Never be ashamed of it, but also remember the personal statement's about you as a whole. It's not just a list of all your achievements. And if you keep that in mind, you'll get the balance right.